To you, Mr. Chugh, try and understand as a youngster and also as someone who engages with citizens on a regular basis, how do you see the Constitution having shaped people's belief, their faith in democracy, at the same time faith in the rule of law over the last 7.5 decades, and it goes stronger day by day?
See, I'll take it from what the professor said. There were so many people who thought that we would not be able to survive as a nation at all. There were all sorts of prophets of doom who said that this is not a country so diverse, there is so many people, the size, the diversity on every level, we cannot really sustain ourselves as a nation. And if you look at constitutions of the relevant time, people who started journeys in a post-colonial environment such as us, on an average, a constitution has not lasted more than 15 years or 17 years. And look at us today, going extremely strong, every day. And that's because of how much foresight the drafters of our constitution had. They realized the enormity of the function that they were constituting a nation, so to speak, and they also had to provide not just one man, one vote, but one person, one value. So not only were we giving political justice to people, we were also endeavoring to give people social justice, because we knew that historically we've had sections of the society who've been marginalized to such an extent that they've not had anything. We were trying to give them economic justice, and all of this is so beautifully strung together in the preamble of the Constitution. Maybe we can talk about that. Economic justice we wanted to give them. We wanted to tell them that it's not enough for us to give you the vote. We'll try and give you everything that goes on to make a life meaningful. Our chapter on fundamental rights was quite different from anything else. The US Constitution never had a fundamental rights chapter to begin with. We had something known as the directive principles of state policy, which one can say were future fundamental rights, which were rights that we could not guarantee to people at that point, but we made it incumbent on the governments of the day, and it may be any government, to make them fundamental in the governance of the nation. Minimize concentration of wealth, try to give equal work for equal pay, maintain dignity, right to education, right to legal aid, right to legal justice, and the kind of protections that we've writ into the Constitution, and how beautifully we've been able to establish this complementarity of different institutions. We went back to separation of powers. We understood that absolute power corrupts absolutely. We had all of these functions, and each acting as a very healthy check and balance on the other. So you have judiciary coming in to tell the legislature at point that yes, this is the rekha that you cannot really cross, and the other way around. In appropriate cases, even the parliament coming up with the law to come up with another way of doing things after a judgment. So we've had this beautiful complementarity of powers, and I think in a nation as diverse as ours, as young as ours, a nation that has faced challenges on so many levels,